And we are live, guys. How's it going?
Hey, hey,
Back
what's up,
again.
fellas?
Back again. I think our last podcast was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Last week.
Yeah, well, we did ours last week. Yeah, that's right. Because
Yep,
we
I
had
wasn't
Jordan.
invited for that.
I didn't think you'd want to come on. So how's things been going for you guys?
Paulie?
It's been going good, man. Busy with lots of good things, you know, in the kind of the two careers that I live, you know, the mixed martial arts side of the world, very exciting. Hopefully we'll come on and chat about this in the near future, but I'm working with Roger Crawl and Dave Zitnick on developing the international mixed martial arts belt ranking system. That's coming along real well. Got guys fighting. So very cool, man. I love this part of my life. So
Jason
I guess me
Burgos.
next.
Yeah, man. That's you. Well, unless anyone else is in it. I mean, Phil stood me up, so.
Same old with me, doing the same old stuff with Shirt Dog. Had some good stuff in the last couple of weeks. Had a lot of PFL stuff recently. Got to talk to Dennis Bermudez recently after he had his fourth loss in a row, and I got some interesting things from him. He had 4 losses in a row now, 3 in a row by split decision, which is crazy for that to happen, and 3 for split decision. So, just talk to him about how that stuff kind of affect finances and all those kinds of things. This week, hopefully, I should be talking to Joe Daddy Stevenson this weekend, just getting his thoughts on coaching, because now he's transitioned to coaching. He's been coaching guys like Juan Archuleta and stuff like that, and hopefully another
I just
coach.
coached against him.
Really?
It was Jordan's guy that he fought. Yeah, very cool guy, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's been. I'm looking forward to the chat. I mean, it just everybody that's followed the sport in the last decade know Joe Stevenson. So I'm interested just to get his thoughts. End of the fighting career, making the transition. Hopefully, I might talk to Ray Longo in the next couple of days. Ray Longo is his gym. Law MMA is actually working with this program called Wim to Warrior, which they have specialized relationships with all kinds of gyms all over the world, like SBG Ireland, Faraz Sahabi's gym. They just started a new thing with El Nino. So it's like they bring in regular people and then kind of train them into being a fighters. And they actually do like one amateur fight with another person in the program at another gym. So
Brad did that. Brad's gym did that a while back. Brad Pickett.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, cool. Yep. They come in, they film the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he has to say about it. So, just look for that stuff on Shirt Dog if I'm other work, and that's pretty much the main stuff I've been working on.
Dude, you've been busy, man. I love seeing this, man. You're getting all sorts of articles out there, and they're really, very quality articles, man, with some really good people. So keep up the good work there. It's very
cool. Thank you, appreciate it.
And then hopefully that money will start.
I know. In the next week, I should be getting my first little taste. So
we're not all rich.
I won't spoil myself.
We're not all rich like Paulie, and living in the mansion and that.
The Florida Hills or Flat Hills.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I'm not rich, but I'm not doing bad, man. But it wasn't always like that, believe me.
Man's got to work hard, yeah. So obviously we're coming on to talk about UFC Fight Night on Fox this weekend. It's Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier. Obviously Phil was meant to come on because a couple of his fighters are obviously on the card, but due to him traveling, so he says, so he tells me, he hasn't been able to make it. So obviously we're rolling with the two best two best guests anyway. So it's all good.
He's a busy guy.
So let's hit it off with we'll just talk about the main card rather than sort of all the little undercards going on there. We've got Alexander Hernandez versus I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Olivier Aubin Mercier.
Good. We'll just go OAM. Just quick OAM.
Yeah, OAM. So we've got OAM going. Interesting fight. I'll let one of you guys hit it off if you know anything about them, striking, stuff like that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I tried to do a little bit of homework on these guys. They're both studs. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. I watched a little bit of Hernandez fight. He's got a very interesting style. He does something that I teach my fighters. I call it where he switches southpaw momentarily. So he's an orthodox fighter, and been a few great fighters in history that have done it, but not many people mention it. For example, Mike Tyson. If you ever watched some of his fights, like when he knocked out Larry Holmes, he would switch momentarily to southpaw. So, he's in the stance, and he would do it to get off what would become his right hook, what I call the 3 South, and he would catch people off guard. And Alexander does that. So I'm actually excited to watch that. As I mentioned, I would teach a lot of my fighters to do this same kind of move. However, you have Olivier OAM as I think, this guy's a southpaw, and he has a very masterful with his distance. You nice range, and he's very seasoned in terms of his competition. They're both coming in with pretty close to each a little bit of a advantage, but from what I saw with his style, it doesn't look like he capitalizes on his reach like Olivier does. So, you know, this is a pick 'em for me. I'm not really sure. Hernandez is the bigger puncher. He's got a big, definitely big knockout reach. And I'm going to go ahead and back kid here.
Jason, did you have the same issue I had there?
Yeah, it was in and out a little bit. I mean, I think we got the gist of what Paulie said, but it was a couple of spots went in and out a little bit.
What's up with your audio, Paulie, man? Have you said you got a new microphone, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a new mic. I don't know if it's my internet. I don't know.
It's all that porn downloading. It's got the cookies in there. It's all messed up now.
I
don't know whether you're running your mic through Skype. If that makes sense.
I mean, I just got to plug right into my USB port. So
yeah, all right. I'm gonna give you a hand right now. This is some tech stuff, all right. So you need to go to options on Skype. Have you got the new Skype or the old Skype?
Really, dude. Like I know which.
You need to find options,
okay,
anyways.
Hold on, I can figure this one out. So you mean settings?
Yeah, and then it'll be audio and video.
Okay.
And then you need to select under audio, find your Blue Yeti.
Yeah, you'll see next to microphone it says like microphone. It'll say what microphone you're using.
Yeah, because I think you're using.
What does it say?
I feel like he's using his computer one.
It might be. Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm not. Yeah, just saying speakers. It's not giving me the option for the microphone.
So when you open it up, and it says audio video, says you see speakers, you see the camera, but you don't see anywhere else that says audio microphone.
Well, it says speakers, and it says microphone, and it says like I can see where it's like dim, but it doesn't give me an option. It says default device. It's not giving me an option to change that.
Oh, there's no when you go hover over it, there's no arrow down that you can click on.
No, I see the arrow down. It's not like it's not allowing me to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we're live. I don't know.
Could be.
No, I think you should still be able to change it. Maybe your Blue Yeti hasn't installed properly through the port or something like that, and the computer ain't picked it up.
Paulie, what Windows do you have? Like Windows.
I think I got Windows 10.
Well, that's the thing. Some of the Yetis in general, they don't work with the new Windows. I found that out myself. Mine acts weird sometimes too.
Yeah, mine.
I mean, it is working. Let me see. Is it if I put it close to my mouth?
Yeah.
Is it changing?
Yeah, it's better.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it. Is it working?
That was better though, wasn't it?
Will it work?
Was it better?
Yeah, it was actually.
So then it's working then.
Yeah. Okay. Let's carry on.
Is this gonna be all part of the show? Is this gonna be edited?
It's live, mate. Like, this is up there.
Oh man, this is awesome. Tech lesson and UFC talk for the fans.
I feel sorry for my audio fans that are going to be just listening because they ain't going to know what's going on.
Yeah, I gotta get this right. Sorry, fellas.
Should I just jump into my Hernandez OAM?
Go for it, Jason.
I mean, everything that Paulie was saying that I could hear was made. Paulie's going to give the technical stuff more than I'm going to be able to. But I haven't seen Hernandez fight yet. I've seen a little bit of OAM. I was just looking at I made some interesting notes. Is that Hernandez is ranked 13 by the UFC despite only having one bout in the company. Yet OAM is not ranked, and the dude is 7-2 in the UFC. I don't know how you're 7-2 in the UFC and you're not ranked. So that's just how weird the UFC rankings are. They don't make any sense. It makes you wonder, do they see big things for Hernandez that after one fight, which is a good win, a 42-second knockout of Beneil Dariush, they must see something special to him, and they're already putting him in the rankings, and they think they're probably already trying to set up big fights down the way over this guy. So, I mean, I haven't seen him, but just based off of that and based off what Paulie was saying a little bit with the change in stance and some of his uniqueness with the striking, I'm going to go with Hernandez. I'll pick him. Olivier has fought better fighters. He's fought the top level for much longer, but just something tells me UFC sees something in this guy that maybe we haven't gotten yet, and he's only 9-1. So I'll go with Hernandez with like a second round TKO, but I could definitely be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you both on that as well because I'm looking at the statistics and he's got like landed per minute. His significant strikes are higher.
Well, remember though, those are just based off his UFC fights, so it's only one fight, so it's kind of
true, very true. I mean, his reach is a little bit better as well. I don't know. I just think he looks promising when he comes up. I think it's going to be over within the first round, personally. But I've been wrong. We've all been wrong many times, so we could easily be wrong about this. But yeah, I think I agree with you both in the sense of when the way Paulie's broken it down and the way obviously you've mentioned about the UFC maybe seeing something in him that maybe the fans haven't seen yet. So yeah, I think he's a promising talent that's going to kind of burst through the rankings quite quickly. So yeah, cool. I'm glad we all agree on that one, which is nice for once.
A rarity, my goodness.
So obviously we've got next on the card, we've got Joanna Jacek versus Tisha Torres. Interesting fight, I think. Very interesting. Jason, do you want to hit this one off first, or should we let Paulie weigh right in?
I'll go. I mean, we'll switch back and forth. This one, I think it is interesting. I would just start with saying first, I would be absolutely shocked if Joanna Jacek lost 3 fights in a row. Nothing against Tisha Torres. Tisha Torres is very talented. She, at first glance, I was like, damn, can Tisha Torres win a predominantly striking battle, point battle with Joanna Jacek? She has ability. She was in there with Michelle Waterson, outpointed her, outstruck her, and beat her pretty soundly. And Michelle Waterson's comes from a point scoring background, karate and stuff like that. So, I mean, Torres has the skills. The only thing is, Joanna, the only way you can really do anything is you have to get her respect. You have to have some kind of power, and Tisha Torres does not have the power. She's not going to take Joanna down. So if she's in a battle where she has to use her speed, her technique, maybe some length, that just goes towards Joanna's skill set. Joanna is just too good of a striker. And I would imagine, even at this point of her career now, she's lost 2 fights in a row. She's away from the title fight. Maybe you could wonder if the fire's still there. She doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to live with losing again. And she wants to get right back in the saddle. And no disrespect to Tisha Torres, who herself has talked about her career winding it down soon. So you got to even wonder about her fire still, because she graduated with her degree recently. I don't know if she got her master's, but it's like in law or something like that. So she's planning a life after fighting soon. She wants to start a family. So I'm going to say something unique. I'm going to say Joanna gets the win and gets the first finish she's had in a really long time. She hasn't gotten a finish since, I think, maybe the Esparza fight. So I bet you I'm going to go with she's going to get a finish. TKO, 3rd round, Joanna Jacek.
Boom. Paulie, hopefully you don't cut out this time.
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me? Okay? Am I breaking up?
Yeah. I'll tell you if you start to break up, man.
All in.
Yeah, maybe I was just sitting far away from the microphone, so maybe being a little bit closer. So yeah, I would agree with Jason. I think this is going to be a difficult one for Tisha. She really her game, her stylistically, it's tough for her because she doesn't really do a short range game, but she's built short arms. She only has 16 feet, and if you got that kind of reach, really need to turn it into a reach advantage by using a little head movement. You have to maximize power by full rotation, putting your hips, swinging your shoulders, swinging punches. You're going to have that. You really got to change it to an advantage by increasing your power. She just doesn't have that kind of power. Joanna is just, man, her striking is superb. These guys know each other very well. I mean, it's about time that can happen. So I don't.
Paulie,
Yeah.
we're losing you, mate. Again, hold your mic to your mouth instead. Let's go with that. Let's try.
Oh,
I know, it's a
like
pain in the
a
ass,
sports
man.
announcer.
Yeah, let's
I'm
go.
not. Really? Is that better?
This is Paulie Gloves coming to you live from
Yeah,
Coconut
it's funny.
Creek.
It's funny because when you're like talking just a few words and that, it's like crystal clear, and then when you start going into sentences, it's just like patchy. If that makes sense.
Maybe it's my internet. Maybe it's hold on, let me switch over here to my
We're losing now. It's like, oh god damn. Yeah, mate.
That'll just be the remaining image for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
Can you
mate.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that any better?
Yeah, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Go again.
It
Right.
sounds pretty good.
Right.
Is Amir's he clearer too?
Yeah, it looks clearer.
You look clearer too. Now you look
Well, I
foggy.
have the thing is like I have the router is anyway, so I'll tell you guys offline. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. But bottom line is these guys train at the gym before. They have a lot of time. They know each other very well. Joanna, man, I don't see her. I think stylistically she lost because it was just a bad style.
Yep.
She's still very hungry. I think. I think it's going to be very difficult for Tisha to be competitive in this fight.
Hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, with Joanna, it's very hard. Like where her head's at. I know, obviously, like the second Rose fight, she was obviously fired up and stuff like that. That's what Phil said. She was more focused than anything, and stylistically probably wasn't ideal for her. But I don't know. Like 2 fights, you know, has she still got the fire in the belly? That's my wonder. I know she doesn't want to lose 3 times. No one wants to do that, but it's a hard one. I mean, I'm going to pick her to win because I just think she's the more classier opponent, um, more weathered and so on. But yeah, overall, I don't know. I'm a little bit humming and ahhing. Like, I think there could be an upset. Is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully, I'm not
Oh,
right.
all right, Jason.
Well,
Make sure you write that down somewhere. And let's, yeah.
well, the question I have, JB, is how is she going to win, though? I mean, it's okay to make the upset pick, but how is she going to get the upset?
Well, Tisha.
Yeah. Well, yes, Joanna winning's not the upset.
That's true. I said maybe an upset, all right? I just think, Tisha Torres might just spark her out, mate.
Hmm.
What I don't know English lingo. What does spark out mean?
I'm saying she might KO her. No, I think Tisha Torres. No,
Really?
I'm joking. I think Tisha Torres might win on points. That's what I'm going with. But I'm saying Joanna is my favourite. If you gave me £1 million check in front of me, it's going on Joanna every time
The
because she
one
is the
thing I
better
will
opponent.
I that's an interesting point. The one thing I will bring up is Tisha Torres has a phenomenal gas tank. Now, if this fight was the main event in 5 rounds, I think it could get very interesting because Joanna has a great gas tank too. But that's the interesting thing is that this is the first, I think, 3-round fight for Joanna since before Carla Esparza. Let me see. I think I wrote it down. Which yeah, but she hasn't fought in a 3-round fight in 4 years. So I wonder if she's gonna like come out fast, and extra aggressive in the fight. Is she gonna maybe be too used to 5-round fights and pacing herself? Like I'm curious how that first round's gonna go. But especially if it's 3 rounds, if she has to go 3 rounds of battling with Joanna, I think it even hurts Tisha even more. Like because that's one of her strengths, gas tank. And if it was 5 rounds, maybe, but 3, eesh, I don't know.
Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? I've kind of backed both of
Future on
them
this one.
subtly, but yeah,
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah.
nah, that's the
Yep.
spot we live in. Well, you live in. I just spectate.
Yeah, I just watch.
So, anyways, yeah. So I'm going with Joanna, but I think there could be a slight upset that Tisha Torres might win on points. That's it. Joanna Jacek probably finishes her within second round. Probably gets the job done. But yeah, if I was playing devil's advocate a little bit, Tisha Torres on points. And now we've
Can't be on the fence, dude. You can't be on the fence.
I like that. She's gonna win, but she's probably gonna lose. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
So we've got Jose Aldo versus who the fuck is this guy? Jeremy Stevens.
This is exciting, man. I'm excited about this fight. I mean, Jose Aldo was, for a long time, pound for pound, greatest fighter in the world. Man, this guy just brings a whole arsenal. His striking arsenal is amazing. I know he's, not had a good run of it, and there's some question about his age. How hungry is he? How much does he want it? And then you have Jeremy Stevens, who is just like, man, I continue to underestimate this guy. He keeps winning where, to me, it just doesn't make sense that he would win. But he's got that great equalizer, KOing guys, man. I love his aggression. I love the way he throws punches. He just brings it, man. This guy lives and dies by the sword. So, it's really going to be hard for anybody to call this fight. I'm gonna put my money on Jose with this one. I think that he might use some of his great movement, some of his great kicks, throw Stevens off, keep from dropping some of those bombs on him. And, I think he might win the day this time. But it's going to be a fun fight to watch. I'm really excited about this.
The audio, perfect. Yes!
Fucking brah.
So it's the internet, maybe. Internet.
Yes. I agree with everything you said. The funny thing is, right when I think off the bat is, like, it's Jose Aldo still wanted, because there was him saying stuff a few years ago about, he wants to go do boxing or all this other stuff. Like, when you start talking about other things than what you're in, and especially with a sport so difficult like this, you have to wonder about where your head is at. And so I'm like, damn, is the fire still there for him? And then I looked at his record. This guy still only has 3 losses in the last 12 years. To McGregor and to Holloway twice. Those two may go down with him as the best, like, featherweights ever. There's no shame in any of those losses. The only thing is that they were finishers. He got finished all 3 times, which you wonder about where his chin's at. He's been in some wars. The Frankie Edgar fights were all tough. The Chad Mendes second fight was very tough. So he's got a lot of wear on his body now. So you wonder about that. And he's only 31. Like, it feels like he should be 35, 36, doesn't it? Like, he's only 31.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, Paul, you nailed it. Jeremy Stevens, he's that perfect example of what is great about MMA. You have a guy, he's talented, he has some gifts, he can't get it together, he's kind of in the middle range, and then all of a sudden something clicks. It's a gym change, it's a life change, something happens. Like Robbie Lawler is a perfect example. The guy was kind of middle of the road, he changed his gym, went to ATT, went to 170, and this guy went from a fun brawler to one of the best fighters at welterweight. Like, Jeremy Stevens is that guy. Like, he's beating really legit guys now. The only thing is, Josh Emmett, Doo Ho Choi, Gilbert Melendez, they're not Jose Aldo. Like, if Jose Aldo has his head right at all, and he still wants to prove he's still viable and wants to make money and wants to be good, I just, skill for skill, I can't see how he could beat Jeremy Stevens. I just can't see how he could do it. I mean, but the only thing is, I wonder the chin. Jeremy Stevens has one hitter quitter power, and I wonder about Jose Aldo's chin. But either way, Paulie nailed it. Excited for this fight. Maybe even more excited for this than the main event. And I'm just curious how the direction, what we're going to be saying after this fight. Are we going to say, man, Jose Aldo still got it? Or are we going to be saying, damn, Jose Aldo needs to retire? Are we going to be saying, geez, Jeremy Stevens maybe deserves a title shot? Or we're going to say, Jeremy Stevens, nice fighter, but he's still not elite yet. So I'm just curious on the narrative afterwards. Yeah, but I'll say,
that's the deal with combat sports, man. Like, fighters can get old overnight.
Yep.
Especially fighters that have been in a lot of wars. So, nobody really knows what's going to happen in this fight, man. But if the Jose Aldo shows up that's hungry, even a hungry Jose Aldo, we don't know if he was getting knocked out from fatigue, or if his chin's gone because, getting punched to the head has a cumulative effect. It's not like you recover and then you're good for the next fight, So, but also, even though he's been in a lot of wars and he's fought the who's who, you don't know what his gym experience is like. A lot of fighters lose a lot of their brain cells in the gym, in gym wars. So instead of training, smart, they train, not that intelligent. So we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors there. But this guy has mad talent, and the guys he's lost to, are G's. But the guys that he has lost to are guys that have been supreme with their use of their distance. Right, they really knew how to use the long range game effectively.
Yep.
Conor McGregor, a little drawback step, KO with the two. Max Holloway, man, this guy really knows how to use his distance and mix it up. Lost him twice, and every fighter kind of has a silver bullet. So we'll see, man.
And to your point about gym and stuff like that, and I mean every fighter is different. What happens to one guy doesn't mean it's going to happen to another. But Renan Barão, he was a guy that in his gym for a long time they were two of the best fighters, arguably the two best at a certain point. And Renan Barão has completely fallen off the table. Like he's not the guy he was 4 years ago. Does that start to happen to Jose, or does he still have something left? So I'm going to say Jose Aldo decision. It'll be competitive because Jeremy Stephens is double tough, but I just feel like skill for skill, Jose Aldo showed good things against Holloway in those fights despite the losses. No shame. So I think still at this level, he's still better than Jeremy Stephens. JB, you better not tell me this is going to be an upset again.
You know what's going on, man. Jeremy Stephens is stepping in and banging Jose Aldo out the ring, mate. I'm telling you. 100% it's happening. Don't care what you two fanboys know. I don't care. Okay? Jeremy Stephens, hungry, wants his shot at the title, wants to make money. Jose Aldo, he's been knocked out a few times. His chin's weathered. Jeremy Stephens, bang! Done. That's it. Don't care. Logic tells me Jeremy Stephens is having this guy. That's it. Jose Aldo's been in a couple. I think he was in a couple of wars with Max Holloway, wasn't he? Was it the last fight? There was a bit of a war.
Yeah, his last two fights with Max Holloway.
And I get it. Like Jose Aldo is more skilled, but I think if Jeremy Stephens comes out with that heart on the sleeve, full bore attack, like ball in a china shop, like smothers him, pounding him, I think that's the way he gets through to Jose Aldo. In my opinion, I think if he stands back and tries to do kind of what McGregor and Holloway might have done with the range and stuff like that, I don't think that's Jeremy Stephens' kind of game. And I think Jose Aldo's a lot more like silkier to be able to kind of move around and predict what's going on. And I think Jeremy Stephens has to turn this into a kind of a war really and get one of those clean shots in. And I think you'll see good night Aldo in my opinion, but I could be wrong. But I'm going with Jeremy Stephens here. I think his punching power is gonna do some damage.
I think you like his beard because you got the same beard, the same haircut as him. I think you're on that.
Jason, your webcam's gone.
Yeah, no, just saw an alert come up. Let me see what's going on.
Ah, okay. It'll be Paulie probably sending you love hearts.
Let
me see
man,
if we
I'm
reconnect
coming
now.
across the pond pretty soon. I'm going to see you. Keep talking smack.
It's twice now. In two podcasts. You've. This is the second one. The first one. Yeah, Paulie said he's coming for me, man, in England, and he knows my address because I fucking gave it to him.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I don't forget either, man. I'm like an elephant.
You know it's all love from me, man. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going with Jeremy Stephens knockout. I'm not going to predict what round because I have no idea. It could finish quite early, but I think as long as Jeremy Stephens puts the pressure on, he's like a ball in a china shop. Do you know what I mean? He's so like, he just loves a little brawl, really. And I think if he puts it on Aldo, we could be in for a shock. So yeah.
And just think about this. He has 14 losses. 10 are by decision, and only 3 by submission, 1 by TK, 1 by KO, TKO. That's like, if you beat him, like you're not gonna knock him out. Like he's so tough. That's why he could fight how he does, and that's what's gonna make it so interesting, Jose Aldo, because he's gonna push it. Like, can Jose Aldo show that this guy was once a killer that no one wanted to deal with? This is any of that left in him, So when they collide, it could be very wild.
I think it's probably for me the most unpredictable fight on the card.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we might have differences on the Alvarez Dustin Poirier fight, but we'll find out now because we're heading to the main event of the evening. And how does Buffer say it?
It's time.
It's time. So Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier. Who wants to go first?
Who went first last time? I'll go on it.
There we go.
Yeah. Uh, these guys are both warriors, man. Very exciting, man. Uh, you know, after that, you know,
Oh no, we've got an audio issue again.
how about now?
Go on, yeah.
Seems good now.
Yeah, you sound clearer now.
I don't. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad. Tell me right away. That's good.
Cool,
We'll
right.
just start doing like this.
Make a sign. Yeah. So, so listen, man. You've got Dustin, who is, I mean, he has supreme confidence. I mean, his only losses, he came to Conor McGregor. Man, he was confident in that, man. And Michael Johnson, I'm talking about in most recent history. But he's such a student, man. He's constantly in the gym, constantly improving himself. He's still Eddie Alvarez has been in the game for a long time. I think he's been fighting since like 2003. I remember him swinging through our gym a long time ago. 2007 probably. I mean, this guy is a veteran, and I think that he's on the downswing of his game, and I see Dustin just being like he's peaking. He just has it. He's got a nice southpaw style. Eddie just seems to have lost a step in my eye. He's still a warrior, man. I think he had the perfect matchup, him and Justin. Justin Gaethje just has, terrible defense, coming forward. Those guys were sitting in the pocket just being silly, exciting silly, banging on each other, The technique got thrown out the door, but Dustin has learned his lesson throughout the years about being this crazy. So he's become really focusing on that, and he's surrounded by amazing coaches. I'm definitely Dustin.
Do you think he gets a finish?
I think he gets a finish.
Really? What
I think
round?
he gets a finish. No, I give him. I think he finishes him inside 2.
Wow. I mean, what was it? Was it the first round, the second round that the whole when he hurt him? It was the first round he hurt him, right? In the first fight,
Who?
when Dustin hurt poor Eddie Alvarez in the first fight, it was the first round, wasn't it? Or did it get to the second?
I don't remember, man.
It says second round. That's when the accidental knee was. So yeah, it must have been the second round where he rocked him, and then he got rocked in reverse. But yeah, I mean, I can believe it. It almost happened the last time.
Mm. Jason.
So am I going mine?
Yeah, you're in, man. You're in.
Everything Paulie said, it's dead on. Like, there's definitely was a shift change for Poirier in the last like 6-7 fights. Like, especially moving up from featherweight to lightweight. That was the best thing that ever happened to that dude. Like, he was killing himself at featherweight. So he's been fantastic at lightweight. The only real blemish it has been the weirdness of the Eddie Alvarez fight. Let me just go back and see his recent record at 155. I mean, oh yeah, excuse me, Michael Johnson. He actually got KO'd by Michael Johnson, was a surprise. But I mean, beat Jim Miller, beat Anthony Pettis, beat Justin Gaethje. I mean, I think the age, like Paulie nailed it. That's the key thing. It's crazy. Like we were just talking about Jose Aldo with age. Poirier's only 29. That guy's not been 30 years old yet. He's been fighting since 2009, almost 10 years in the game. He's only 29, while Eddie Alvarez is 34. I mean, that's a big difference. A lot of wear, a lot of miles, like Paulie said. Because if you think about it, it's not necessarily just the fights. A lot of fights is a key thing. But Paulie nailed it with saying, well, he's been fighting probably since like 2003, somewhere in the early 2000s. That's a lot of years of training, a lot of training, a lot of wear. So I just think on a skill level, I was looking at some of the highlights from the Alvarez and Gaethje fight. Yeah, he did good against Gaethje, but he didn't look like this polished, slick, quick. It was very technical, smart. He working the body, smart boxing, but it wasn't like a speed, like his athletically, he looked very impressive against Gaethje. Just he was smart. He was a better fighter. So against Poirier, who's really on a high right now, his game is sharp. I would have to go with Dustin. But I'll bring up one interesting point. Eddie Alvarez has had 2 rematches in his career. He's fought Shinya Aoki twice, and he fought Michael Chandler twice. Both rematches. For the first fight he lost, the second fight he won. So I mean, maybe he's one of those guys that he gets a rematch, he sees something differently, he comes with a better game plan. But also, he was a lot younger when he had those rematches. But yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say poor. You know, I'm gonna say a decision. It's gonna be a really, really good fight. I wouldn't be surprised even if it's a split decision or something like that. Because Eddie Alvarez is the kind of guy that can hit you and hurt you with one shot. And Poirier is a weird guy in that he's smarter than he used to be, but when he gets blood in the water, he gets crazy. he gets wild, and that's what happened to him in the last fight. He got wild when you hurt him, and Eddie Alvarez hurt him back. And then they both got kind of woozy. He made the mistake with the knee that was kind of low, illegal, whatever. But he makes that mistake. He'll in the fury to finish, he can leave openings, and Eddie Alvarez is smart enough to make something out of it. But I'll go with Poirier split decision win over Eddie Alvarez.
Split decision.
Yeah, split decision. Come on, we are in a world where
who's keeping data on this stuff? We need to keep data. Go back. Somebody pull up their Excel. Listen, this is your podcast, JB. So you need to keep data on everybody's picks. So that way we get bragging rights.
It's right. Jason always posts them up on Twitter and stuff like that. Anyway, so
no, I don't.
Well, he posts his picks anyway, so it's all cool.
Yeah.
And then I go back and check mine, and I'm like, yeah, I was completely wrong, so I'm not saying anything. I'm always wrong. But yeah, I agree with you both, man. Dustin wins this fight for me. I think Eddie Alvarez is kind of coming to the end of his career. And I think, to be honest, I think the UFC threw Dustin a bone. He's calling for a title shot. I think McGregor and Khabib, whatever's going on there, people are saying it's going to be in Russia and shit like that and whatever. I think Dustin's worked his way up, called out for it, and Dana's kind of gone, look, like, we'll give you Eddie Alvarez. You're going to get paid well for it. Win that fight, you'll potentially get your title shot. And I just think Dustin, he's a smarter fighter now, a lot smarter, and I think he's going to KO Eddie Alvarez, in my opinion. I just think Eddie's over the hill. I may be wrong, he may come back and look phenomenal, and you're like, fuck me, this guy's got another 10 years in him, like the way he's fighting. But I just think, in my opinion, that Dustin is, the better fighter. Currently, he's peaking well. He's got good training camp behind him. Good strength and conditioning coach, so I've heard as well. And
rumors have it, yeah.
Rumors have it, not that I know. And I think personally, Dustin within two. I'm going with Paulie on this one. So it's 2-1 in our favour there. So sorry, Jason, you're on your own.
I picked Dustin Poirier too. I just said it's going to be split decision.
Yeah, well, that's where we all differ.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy, man, crazy.
It's not crazy because in MMA today, judging makes no sense. I mean, I just said it with the Dennis Bermudez. Who gets 3 split decisions in a row? Nothing makes sense anymore. So watch. Eddie will do something unique. He'll probably hurt him 1 round or something like that. And he'll get like 1 round or something crazy will happen.
Listen, Dustin knows this, yeah? Dustin knows that the judges are wild and crazy. So he's just thinking, I'm KOing this guy. It's done. I'm finito. And I think he's getting better. Every fight, he's just getting better and better and better. And I think I'd like to see him fight either Khabib or Conor. I think it'd be good for him. I reckon he'd probably stand a bit of a chance. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Eddie's going to be dangerous earlier. I mean, Dustin needs to be smart early on. I mean, Eddie's still a G. He still drops bombs. He's got to be smart earlier. But I think he has become a wise fighter. Very seasoned.
Do you think Dustin beats either Khabib or Conor McGregor if they have a fight? Jason's saying no with a massive head shake. I want the doc's take on this.
I would like to see. I think rematch with. I think Conor's been away from the game. I think too long. In combat sports, man, you can't. Like George St. Pierre came back, but they threw him right. A guy that's been around for a long time. That's So it's very rare that in combat sports you step away, come back. It's just very, very, very difficult to do. And if you do come back, you might become a whole different fighter. Like if you go back and you look at Muhammad Ali, he was for the sport from a couple years. The guy that came back from the sport was not the same guy that came in. Unfortunately, he still had his hand speed and he knew how to use his distance. He was a completely different fighter, and he had a great chin, so he could take a beating, So he unveiled that chin after he came back. So we're not going to see the McGregor that we saw before. I mean, that precision that he had. I just didn't see him. He's living a large life. So I think Dustin comes back, and I say now, Khabib, different story, man. This guy is just like, So I haven't seen enough of Dustin. His grappling. Khabib is just like different animal, getting on guys, holding them down, man. I see that as being a big challenge for any fighter right now. He might be the best fighter because he's built, but move forward because of his conditioning and ability just to pound the crap out of people, take away the whole game.
What's funny is that I feel the opposite way, in that um, I think he'd have a better chance against Khabib. Khabib is crazy in that he can be hit, all these AKA guys like that come forward style, similar to Dan Corbin. He likes to come forward, bull rush to get to the takedown, and he can be hit. Against Michael Johnson, he got hit a lot. Against Ally Quinta, he got hit a lot. But I think Dustin Poirier is a harder puncher. He has better movement to move around and left and right. I think he'd give Khabib trouble. And even if he took Dustin Poirier down, Dustin is tough as all hell. He's not gonna break. Like, I'd be shocked to see him break. Like, this is not gonna be like Barboza or some of these guys that kind of you can see the wilt. I don't think he would wilt. I think he'd still be around. Just his cardio wouldn't be enough. But I think he'd give him trouble coming in. For me with Conor, and Paulie, I think that's actually an excellent point that I didn't really think about. Maybe he is different when he comes back, but if you remember that first fight, Dustin Poirier really didn't have much to offer Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor kind of got him out there relatively quickly, and they were both cutting weight. They both had a fight at 155. And Conor, there's also something to be said, as some people might think Conor striking may be better since he had been boxing focused for a little bit of time. You don't think so? All right. So even if you take that away, I still think Dustin Poirier hasn't made up the skill gap. Now, you can have that point of he's been out for a while, but you also said George St. Pierre. I know Michael Bisping is not like a superstar, but he's still a really good fighter. And George St. Pierre was out for like 4 years, older. Like, Conor's still only, I don't even know if Conor's 30 yet. So he's hitting his prime years. So he's entering his prime. He still had a big skill gap. I think he would kind of, no disrespect to Dustin, I like him, but I think he would run through him the same way.
I think part of the reason he beat Dustin was partly because he got in Dustin's head. He had Dustin fired up, right?
Yeah.
So Muhammad Ali was very good at that, talking like a lot of smack, man, getting people to go out of his game. And Dustin's a warrior. He wants to get in there and take your head off. So I think they would say that about Ali a lot, that he was actually winning the fight before he even entered the ring. And I think the same thing might have happened there with Dustin. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen when he comes back. Now, he's been doing a lot of boxing. The problem with doing a lot of boxing is that if you try to bring boxing into the cage, it's a different game. It really is a different game. Your stance is different. He might be getting more fluent with his punching, which is a good thing. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Working out a lot. But it's the distance, your range, the angles that you take. If he tries to do too much on the inside, like staying in there to throw like a 3 or 4 punch combination, you can't get away with that stuff in mixed martial arts because somebody's just going to drop a bomb on you with those 4-ounce gloves that you might be able to take in boxing that you cannot take those in MMA.
Cool, man. Wow. We've been going for 43 minutes. That's the card, minus a few.
We had to give a tech lesson or two, Yeah. So it's fun.
But yeah, this is gonna go straight up on YouTube, anyways. But as always, man, it's been a fucking pleasure hosting you both. And I just got to add it in there that Dustin Poirier is the Channing Tatum of UFC. Just
maybe.
I messaged that to Phil. I was like, tell Dustin he's the Channing Tatum of UFC, and Phil was just like LOL. And that was it. So I don't know whether it passed my fanboy message on, but hey, whatevs. But yeah, now's your chance. 2 minutes. Whoever wants to go, advertise the shit out of yourself and what you do.
Go ahead, Jason.
Just the same stuff I said in the beginning. Check out my work on SureDog.com. You can just look up my name, Jason Burgos, and SureDog.com, and you can find my writer page and all the previous stuff I've done before. Look me up on Twitter at Cheap Seats Chat, and on Instagram at Jericho Vendetta. You can get links to those stories and just get my thoughts and the usual social media shenanigans. So that's pretty much it for me.
Boom, baby.
That was quick. That was beautiful. All right. I just actually sent you a picture, JB. I'm not sure if you can squeeze that in there somewhere, but
Yeah, I'll
we
get
talked
it.
about it a little bit at the beginning of the podcast. I've just gotten a collaboration with Dave Zitnick and Roger Crawl. We've gotten together and started an LLC called MMA Science, and we are developing the first ever international mixed martial art belt ranking system. It's actually
Oh, your audio's gone.
am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the International Mixed Martial Arts Belt Ranking System will be teaming up with ISKA, and just keep your eye on that. Please follow me at Dr. Polly Gloves on Instagram, Dr. Polly Gloves on Twitter, and for the old folks, as Jordan Young tells me, follow me at Polly Gloves on Facebook. And if you happen to be a professional, I do a lot of writing. Follow me on LinkedIn at Paul Gavoni EDD.
All links will be down below. Bam, 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 bam. That's what people do in the YouTube videos, yeah. Down below. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's what the cool kids do. Anyways, let's wrap this up. Cool. We'll talk off camera anyways for a couple of minutes if you're alright with that. Let's go. Let's get this done.